Fuck it, we're live, dude.
Do you do this like live where people can tune in live, or do you do it and then you edit it and then?
I don't edit shit, dude.
We do it live for ourselves.
He goes, "Oh, fuck it, we're live,"
and
then he just posts it.
But we're literally live. Welcome to the Sinchies podcast.
Back
it's your
for
boy,
another one.
Dewby.
It's Mojave.
We're here with a couple of my special guests. These are both my cousins. This is my roommate, Lexie. And this is my loving cousin, Emily. And we're gonna just spitball for you tonight.
This is a super flattering angle for me.
It's literally horrible.
Shit.
Like if I ever go missing, don't put my picture anywhere.
Please don't.
It's gonna be this podcast.
It's gonna be this one.
It's gonna be this thumbnail,
That's
dude. There she is.
That's my biggest fear, not like being abducted or like actually going missing. But like if you have to put my weight on a missing poster, leave me missing. I don't want it.
Emily literally FaceTimed us the other night, like, she was like, "It's urgent, answer." And we were like, okay, so we all answered, and she goes, "When I die and get cremated, please buy 2 urns. Buy the urn that they put me in, and then buy a second smaller urn, and fill that urn up with my ashes and convince everybody that that's how big I was."
Is that how it works?
Well, I don't know, but I would assume bigger bodies require bigger urns, and I don't need to be eternalized as the fat girl.
Do you think that they really put every single speck of ash in there? I'm
no,
pretty
but
sure they
if
just take a handful and they're like, we'll fucking throw it in there, dude. I don't think they clean the entire fucking crematorium out for the one person, dude.
But this is how bad, like, my
it's 5 other people's
anxiety
ashes.
is.
I literally think they just take like a fucking garden hose and they just drop that
I told
shit
them,
in
I
there,
was like,
dude.
if you can convince
There's John,
everybody at my
Bill.
And then
if you can convince everybody at my funeral that I fit into a champagne flute, do it.
She literally sent me a TikTok the next day and was like, "Everybody say hi to my mom." And it was a fucking urn that was like this big.
Clearly, like, each sibling got a little bit of her, and it was like this big. And I was like, this exact model I want.
I saw this TikTok. This guy was like on a business Zoom call, and you just hear this thud in the background. They're like, "What was that?" And he's like, "Oh shit, my grandpa just fell." They're like, "Is he okay?" And he like reaches down and picks up this big ass urn. He's like, "He's good," and like puts it back.
Holy shit!
Oh my god!
Fuck.
When my grandpa died, we made him late to his own funeral.
On purpose?
No.
Not get out Grandma Hattie as well.
Wait, which one?
Grandpa Alan, when he, God rest his soul, when he passed, I think Scott and my mom forgot we had his urn, and we had driven to Iowa, and so our clock on our car was set to like Colorado time, but Iowa is an hour ahead. So they thought we had all the time in the world to like see Muscatine, and I was like in the back, and I was like,
"We're an hour behind."
I was like, "Guys, time change," and they were like, and we literally ran into the funeral home with the urn.
He's here.
And I was like, oh my god, we can't even keep it together in death. That's so sad.
God,
no, at Grandma Hattie's
fucking Grandma Hattie's funeral, the fucking pastor was like, "Oh dear sweet Patty."
He kept calling her Patty. And we were all like,
and one of the cousins ran up and she was like, "It's Hattie, it's Hattie."
and he was like mortified, poor guy, but I was laughing my ass off. I was
and
like, we can't
Grandma
even get it right.
walks up to him afterwards and she's like, "This is my
daughter-in-law,
Patty." And he was like,
yeah, he was pretty mortified.
It's like, did I ever tell you, because my dad is an ordained minister, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
so are you now, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. So my dad did Stuart and Kaylin's wedding, and I brought it up to him, but I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal because he never got Kaylin's name right. He always called her Kayla or Caitlin, whatever. And it didn't dawn on me until the wedding started. And he called her about 4 different names. And he's like, "We're here for Stuart and Kayla." And I was like, oh, fuck. I should have went over this more with him. And everyone at the wedding, like, me and my mom are sitting in the back, and some of like the kids we went to school with, they're looking at us. They're like, "Why does he keep calling her a different name?" And I'm like, he never ever knew what her
You
name
should
was.
have just been like,
Oh
he's
my God.
dyslexic.
I was like, he never knew what her name was. Like, he's gonna do this the entire time. And so like he's up there, like got a mic. It's outdoors, and they're like, Craig. And he's like, what? They're like, her name's not Kayla. And he's like on the mic too, and you can hear it. And he's like, well, what's her name? And fucking, I was like, oh my God. And everyone's like, why is he doing this? I'm like, he doesn't know her name. And they're like, it's Kaylin. He's like, okay, Caitlin. And I was like, oh fuck. He didn't get it right. And then like he's mid ceremony and stuff, and like Kaylin's up there. You can hear her on the mic. She's like, Craig. And he's like, what? And she's like, you're standing in an ant pile. And he's like, oh shit. He's like up there like tap dancing. He was standing in like a red ant pile, like trying to keep it together, but you could see him like hopping around. It was so funny. Stuart was up there laughing. Everyone was like, that's either a like disaster for them, like they're gonna be pissed, or and like Stuart was like, oh, I was cracking up. And good thing Kaylin has a sense of humor. She's like, yeah, it was whatever.
Well, at that point, you just have to laugh because it's like out of your control.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
Like, how else did you expect it to
get?
The punch ones?
These ones are fucking weird.
They're okay.
They have like a
Yeah,
nail
they're
polish
alright.
aftertaste to
Yeah.
them,
A
dude.
nail polish?
Is that yours?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
What's
try it.
funny about
Try
the
it.
story that fucking Marcus just told us,
weird.
have you ever seen the fucking SpongeBob movie?
I like it.
Yeah.
And he's standing there and he's like,
He's
What?
accepting his like
I'm
employee
making
of
a
the
complete
month.
one of myself, self. I didn't get the job.
Oh yeah, death is weird, and marriage is weird.
You know.
Death, marriage, life.
Existence. Are you guys afraid to die?
No.
No.
No,
Are you?
100% no.
I should be dead already, dude.
Same.
Marcus, buddy, help me out.
I mean, right now I'd be like, that's unfortunate for sure. But like, there's times where I'm like, come to grips. I'm like, fight. We all gotta die someday. So
Yeah.
I guess.
I've
No, there's-
100% looked at my mom in the face and been like, if I either have to fight to live or fight to die, I'm gonna fight either way. And if I die, I guess I'll write. And she's like, what? And I'm
Oh
like,
my god,
No,
no.
dude, I
I
can
don't know,
count
man,
like
like-
on more than one hands of times I should have definitely died.
I mean, same, but well, maybe not two hands, but it doesn't make it any easier to swallow. Every time I'm like, oh, come on.
That's gonna happen, dude.
Well, I know that, but I guess it's a control freak thing.
Dude, I always like get done with that near-death experience, and I was like, that was a good story, dude. I'm just like, how the fuck did that happen?
Mm.
There was one time I thought I was like, I slid off the road in Cotopaxi because of black ice
Mhm.
in that expedition that I had, and
You
I was-
drove a Ford Expedition in high school?
right after high school. It
Okay.
was the first one I bought,
That's okay, good for you.
but like I was coming around
don't
in
you drive a
Cotopaxi.
fucking Ford Expedition now?
I drive a Tahoe and I got it after I had a child.
Well, he drives an
Proceed.
Explorer now, right?
I drive an Escape now.
I was talking to Emily.
Escape. I have a straight up dad car right now, dude. Faux show. I see so many of them on the highway now too. Now that I have one, I
Oh,
was
there's a theory behind that. What is it called? Proceed. It'll come to me.
Fucking
I mean,
conspiracy theory over
I've seen
here.
that too. Like when we got, do you remember the Buick that we had in high school? But my dad got a Buick, and I drove that thing around all the time, and I always was like, "There's a lot of Buicks out here." And then I got a Jeep, and I'm like, "There's a fucking lot of Jeeps out here." And then my mom got a Jeep, and like I always seen the same one.
Bader Meinhof. That's what it's called.
Explain.
Okay.
Does this have to do with cars
No,
specifically?
no. It's just like the theory
Is
that
this like
after
fucking Nelson Mandela or the
Kinda.
Mandela effect?
Yeah, it's called the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. Frequency illusion, also known as the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, is a congenitive bias in which, after noticing something for the first time, there is a tendency to notice it more often.
That's some Twilight Zone shit.
And it's like I got my first
That's just called
Santa
affirmative
Fe.
action, dude.
That's
my
not... No.
No, it's not.
Yeah, when you see something and you recognize something, you affirm on something, it's gonna keep coming into your life.
It's not affirmative affirmative action.
Yeah, it is, dude.
Dylan, no, it is not.
It is,
no,
bro.
buddy.
When you fucking lock in on something and you focus on something
like
in
I
your
was
life,
driving my
it's gonna
Hyundai Santa
keep
Fe,
showing up in
and
your
then
life.
I've
Affirmative
never
action is
ever
being-
seen a Hyundai
We got
Santa
one
Fe.
black person working here. Now we got
I didn't
another.
mean it like that.
Affirmative
dude. That's
action
literally
in
what
the
it is.
context of the allocation of resources or employment, the practice or policy of favoring individuals belonging to groups known to have been discriminated
Okay, well,
against previously.
my fucking
Minorities.
bad. You get what I'm saying? It's positivity mindset or negativity mindset. When you think about something and you focus on it enough, it's gonna keep recurring in your life.
Did we ever tell you the story about Allie manifesting?
Yes, we've already heard about this.
That's my favorite
Stop.
story ever.
Stop, dude.
Ever.
Does Marcus know?
No.
Okay.
Oh my fucking god.
No.
Let's hear it.
Our cousin
Do
Allie,
I'm here for it.
who just runs like half a speed slower.
Your sister?
Yeah,
Yes.
that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Half
one.
a speed
That one.
slower.
In like a really, really
Like,
charming
she's
way.
very
Dude, if she was like
So
a V8,
it's like-
she's running on like 6 cylinders.
No,
We're
no,
not
but
talking about
she's-
physically running.
No,
right?
no. She's so intelligent and
She's-
so sweet and so a ton of amazing things.
I wouldn't say so intelligent.
No.
Like that's exactly what we're talking about. Is like
let's not exaggerate.
I'm like
Anyways.
She's smart.
She's very smart. She's just a half a step behind pretty much at all times, and it leads to really like funny,
like
charming
really
stories.
hysterical things.
And
I feel like
we
this
call-
runs in your family.
Okay, we call them Allie.
Okay, but I'm
no,
the smartest.
I know, but like us three, and then take Allie like a step,
just like half a step. Like
below
she's
us.
still
We
in the
call them
conversation,
Allieisms.
but
like she's like in there.
Alleyism.
Allieisms.
It does happen
Oh,
often enough
poor girl.
to make
to
it a name.
warrant
Like,
a nickname. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was really infatuated, which I don't blame her as an 18-year-old college student,
with
with the quarterback of the
Yeah.
Wyoming football team.
Okay.
Okay. in fact,
College?
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
going to
yes.
Wyoming.
She's
Okay.
going to Wyoming. Yeah, and she was like
football quarterback.
and so
Is
she
this a well-known one?
yeah, he's like starting lineup like what the fuck is his name?
Like currently?
Yeah.
Fucking-
Okay.
So
we'll look it up.
Focus.
Yeah.
Focus.
sorry.
Here, I'll look it up.
You look it up. So
yeah,
she would text all of us and says, "You guys, I'm talking to the quarterback for the Wyoming football team." And we said, "Oh," and because we knew that this was a long time coming, and we said, "Oh my God, Allie, that's so exciting." And I forget that the youngins communicate only on Snapchat exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, she said, "I know I've been manifesting talking to him and like it really worked. Like I'm actually like I'm so bought into this manifesting thing." And I was like, "Send screenshots." She sends me this group chat a screenshot of her notes app that says
This kid's name over and over and over and over. I have to go get my fucking phone because I quite literally
It says
cannot
his
think of
name
this
like
kid's name.
3 times, and then like 6 times it says I want to date his
You
name.
knock that shit over, dude. Nah, keep going.
No.
And then 9 times it says like I want to keep talking to this kid's name. And I get this picture of this notes app, and I was like, "Holy fuck, Allie,
This went from manifesting to stalker.
Well, I
real
thought
fast.
like maybe she sent
Ray
it to.
Finkel. Ray Finkel.
That's exactly.
Dan Marino must die. Was his name Dan Marino?
Okay, so this is how the whole fucking text conversation went.
Finkel is Allie.
So Allie
Finkel
goes,
is Einhorn.
well, a kid on my
Allie is
Snapchat
Finkel.
posted a video of him, so I added him, and he was confused, but like he texted me this
Laces
morning.
out just over and
Emily
over
goes, "Shut
and
up."
over again.
And Allie goes, "I know, but I also feel like he's very uninterested in me, but I've been manifesting." And Emily goes, "Send a screenshot for analysis." And I said, "Yeah, send a screenshot." And then she goes, Levi. He Snapchatted me 6 times. Then she goes, let's hang out. 9 times. And Emily goes, "I'm so sorry. What the fuck is that?" And Yuki goes, What in God's name is that? And Allie goes, well, there's this thing that I've been saying. It's like the 369 method on TikTok, and like
meanwhile,
it's a manifestation thing.
the
and
rest
I've
of the
been
group
telling
chat-
my mom that I'm gonna marry him for the past year.
The rest of the
So,
group chat is still stuck on like
Yuki
screenshots.
goes-
We just wanted screenshots of the text
Yuki
conversation.
goes, Allie, and Allie goes, no, there's a reason to my
She's
madness.
defending Maddie.
Yuki goes, I think they meant a screenshot of you guys' messages. And Emily goes, ma'am. And Allie goes, oh shit, it's Snapchat, bro. I can't screenshot it. And Yuki goes, I'm fucking wheezing. And Emily goes, are you fucking kidding me? And Yuki goes, for a brief moment, what you said looked like something you see in Criminal Minds.
Seriously.
And Allie goes, fuck you guys, I hate it here. Emily goes, I love you, but the idea of me wanting to see your manifestation, you got the right idea, but the wrong bitch. Ha ha ha. Holy fuck, I am laughing so hard.
The poor thing.
And Allie
just,
goes, damn it. You guys know I'm not the smartest. You should have clarified before I fucking embarrassed myself. And I came back to like 25 missed text messages. And Emily goes, to be fair, I really don't know how it could have been clearer. I really don't.
send screenshots like, buddy.
And then she goes,
I
I'm
love
really
you.
happy it went this way though. And Allie goes, I brought up manifesting, so I thought that's what you guys wanted to see. And Emily goes, I'm so happy that you're manifesting. And I said, well, I mean, that shit works. And she goes, very true. And then Yuki goes to invasive anxious thoughts count due to their repetition. Because if so, I'm a manifestation prodigy. And Emily goes, I wish. And Allie goes, you guys know I'm not the smartest, or something something like that.
Oh, poor Allie.
Fucking
I was
God.
totally expecting this to like end up either being like the backup quarterback or like some dude saying he was the quarterback.
No. In all fairness, it was like the actual starting lineup quarterback. So it had some truth behind it. And maybe the manifestation worked, but I didn't need to see it.
Well, I can promise you it didn't work, because they're not together.
No, but temporarily.
Y'all's fucking group chat is lit. Like, remember the other night when you got the fucking on the bottom of the bucket, you got the writing on your shit?
Oh my God.
Fucking God. So the other night, I am going to fill up Daisy's food bucket because she tears into her bags of food. I don't know. So I open it up and I go to fill it up and I see black writing on the bottom of it and I'm like, what the fuck? I've had this bucket for 2.5 years, year and a half, whatever it is. And I've never seen this shit before. So I was really weirded out. I was like, oh shit, there's something written on the fucking bottom of my buckets. This shit's fucked up. And I pick it up and it just says, fuck you, Lexie Dewberry, you stupid cunt.
What? Bro.
And I was
It gets better.
And I was
Listen.
what the fuck? And so I sent it to my last roommate. Her name is Caitlin. I sent it to her and I'm like, did you write this on the bottom of this bucket? She goes, oh my God, yeah, I think I did. It's because I bought
What do you
that.
mean you think you
She
did?
goes, I
I was
think I
drunk
did.
and I just started writing things.
I think I remember
She goes,
that.
I think I did. It's because I bought that $30 food thing. That's so aggressive. I'm so sorry. Because, before I had bought that bucket.
She's a little litty titty. We went to Fuzzy's Tacos before this and got fucking thrashed.
Oh my God. So Caitlin goes, yeah, it was that $30 thing I bought. Before I had bought the bucket, I had come home to a $30 thing on wheels that had a latch that was specifically made to hold pets' food. And I'm and she had taped the receipt to the top of it. And I was like, I'm not fucking Venmoing you $30 for something that can easily fit in a bucket. I'm just not doing that. So I guess she must have written it on there after I because I transferred the food. Yeah, I
Just,
transferred
like,
the food
rage
from this like
texting,
$30 fucking thing to this bucket, and she must have written it on the bottom afterwards. And so I like send it to the group chat, and Emily's like, "Am I surprised? Not even kind of a little bit." Like,
no.
and
so mean. But
shit.
yeah, you're absolutely right. Our
so
group
here
chat
it is.
is lit.
So I was like, I sent it to her, and she goes, she needs to be sedated at best. And Yuki goes, euthanasia. Emily goes, electric chair, tell her to eat glass. And I said, Dylan commented cunt on her most recent Instagram post. And Emily
So
was
side note, I was like, what a bitch, dude. And then I was like,
he didn't even say anything. He just goes, what's her Instagram? And so I just give it to him, not thinking, and then he
went
just
to her
like turns
first
his
picture
phone.
and just typed in cunt and just sent it, dude. And it's like, this has been reported, or fucking comments like this have been reported multiple times, and I was just like, send. I fucking...
Come report this.
And then Emily goes,
Lexie just
honestly,
starts
leave it to me.
dying,
And I
dude.
go, I really thought he was gonna be the dude. He was gonna be like, dude, it was a year ago, like, let it go. And then Emily goes, when JG was talking to Morgan while dating me, D legit posted a Facebook status that said, you fat chipmunk cheaped whore. Cheap. You need to go to bed. I did it twice. Chipmunk cheek whore. My cousin is so much better than you'll ever be, and as far as JG goes, you're a stupid bitch that missed out, and tagged them both.
He did. It was very
So
embarrassing.
surprised, I'm not. What's her Instagram? I'm gonna go like it.
That's
And
the
then
thing,
she
it's
sends
like-
me a fucking thing, and she's like, "Oh my god, it's hidden."
I didn't listen. I'm
And I
not
was
with
like,
the times.
just click on it. And she was like, "Oh, oops, BRB again." Okay, great. That's so aggressive. Like, what the fuck? What is her deal? What did you respond?
It is so aggressive. Like,
And
that's
I
just
said,
what
I left her
roommates
on red.
do.
I said, "Fuck her," and she goes, "Do you still associate with that Raggedy Ann ass bitch?"
Jesus Christ.
I
You
did
go
say
hard,
It's
that.
an
dude.
aggressive family.
I did. Say well, here's the
Where
thing.
do you think I get it from? dude?
These two stress me out
Just
so
runs
much.
in the bloodline.
No, seriously.
I just
the,
got it to an extreme level, dude.
the,
We all have it.
Yeah, the entire Dewberry clan stresses me out so much in like a nice, fun, I love my family way. But if you're mean to one of us, you get 5, if not more, on your
Oh, yeah.
back. Like,
Everybody
I
shits on
will
you.
destroy you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know if it's an admirable quality.
It's a fucking great quality, dude.
That's what
But
I
at the
was
same
really
time-
cracking up, like, for your birthday, the post you, like, had about him, and you're like, I wouldn't trade this exhausting but loving
Existence.
relationship. Yeah. I was cracking up reading that. That shit was so
Well,
funny.
and it's like super funny because somebody comes at one of us and we all back them, but like at the same time, Dylan and Shelby went to fucking Vegas and Shelby got hurt and Uncle Chris texted us and me and Emily and everybody in the family, we were like, how much time do we need to take off work? Like, we'll drive out there, we'll pick up you guys.
We'll
Like,
pick up, yeah, we'll fly. I booked his ticket. Like, we just, it's pretty cheesy, but we're a nice family. I wouldn't call us the Waltons by any means, but
Family
Little damage,
vacation.
but we got each other's backs, you know?
mhm.
Dude, that whole Allie manifesting story with, like, the, in the notes.
It's so troublesome.
I don't think I told too many
So
people about
troubles.
this. There's this girl in high school that was, like, obsessed with me for a while. She still kind of is.
Are you gonna drop the name? or-
I'm not dropping the
Oh,
name on this
man.
podcast.
Can we talk about it later?
Yeah,
Okay.
Do they watch this podcast?
I have no idea.
I've had several people mention this podcast to me, and I'm like, guys, nothing to do with it.
You haven't listened to it?
I have like sporadic. When do I have an hour? When do I have an hour?
Bro,
Right now.
Or 3 or 3.
it's fucking bad.
I know. Well, that's what I've heard, and I'm like,
We had a stretch where we lost like 12 subscribers.
Yeah, seriously.
But we got them all back by now. They're probably new subscribers,
Yeah.
mind you. But
sure.
our numbers are back up
Yeah,
again.
we lost them.
We chilling.
Yeah, no, there's this girl that's like obsessed with me, and she said something about some notebook that she had, and she had this binder, and she sent me a picture, and like on the front of it, like the bind, you know, you could like put like pieces of paper in the front, like cover of it and stuff.
Sure.
It in like big bold letters. It said like I love you or I heart you. And it was like I heart you, and I was like, okay. And she zooms in on it, like the next picture, and every like letter written out was just my name. Was like Marcus. She made the I like out of my name and stuff, like real small.
You
and I
have
was
to
like,
appreciate the artistry.
I was
though,
like, oh, that's nice.
I guess.
Like, she was harmless, but it was like so weird because then she would talk about like all this shit, like meet me in the bathroom after this class, and I was like,
why the fuck
no,
not,
Y'all,
dude?
like, no.
I walk in there buck ass naked.
it was a little awkward. And then she
I know
so,
you would.
yeah, you would. And fucking so I didn't, but she went around telling everyone. She was like, yeah, I like gave him a blowjob in the bathroom, like all this shit. She was telling people this. Fucking, I was
like, that's 4 minutes of my life.
It was the year after you graduated. I went in because this was during basketball season, and somehow she told someone on the basketball team, and he told everyone, including the coaches, about it. He was cracking up. And I was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. So like after like each drill, like we'd be doing like a layup drill or something, and everyone would be like yeah, good job, Blumpkin, shit like that. And I was like, oh my god. And fucking they told the coaches, and like the coaches came up to me, Coach C and Brown, they're like, is this true? I was like, fuck no, it's not true. Like, she's fucking crazy. And they started like dying, they're cracking up, and they're like, oh my god, just please don't do something like that and it like get out. And I'm like, she's fucking crazy. I don't know, like,
you did, dude.
nah.
To be fair, telling everybody at Cotopaxi's like 12 people.
12 people? Yeah.
You tell one person because like the story about the shirt.
It's telephone, dude.
I
you
told
literally
you.
tell a class in the next 4 grades no by next period.
Close proximity. Not a lot of people.
Honestly, like that story I was telling you, like the same kid that heard about it on the basketball team came in during that whole ordeal and was like, let everyone know. He's like, I know what's going on.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So fucking one person at Cotopaxi's a wildfire. Just spreads.
Well, because that's like 1/12
Yeah,
of the
there's
entire
25
population.
people in the whole building.
Fair, but
What's
yeah.
what's the lamest? Have you guys ever like caught the ick for somebody? Like they're nice and they're charming.
What in the fuck
Blake.
is the ick?
The ick. You've never heard of the ick? Is this just a girl thing?
is it like a
I don't
weird
know,
crush
but
thing?
Blake that I took to fucking Emily's wedding,
Is it like
I was
a
like,
crush
he's
thing?
very nice.
No, not a crush. Like you start talking to somebody and you're D.
What the fuck was that?
Continue.
Like that was
Oh
either
my
you
god,
two.
Emily and I were both like,
Anyways, continue the ick.
When you're like talking to somebody and you see them a couple times, you're like, oh, I really like this person. And then like by like the 3rd or 4th date or like hang out or you're just talking and you're like,
Not getting.
I don't really
not
think I
into it.
like you. Yeah, out of nowhere.
That was Jill. When I was
yeah,
Oh,
Blake
yeah.
and Jill. Fuck
Both
yeah.
of those fuckers. I
She was
fed and
madly
wined
in love with
and
you, dude.
dined them at my wedding because you two fucking insisted. And then a week
I didn't
later,
insist on shit. You're like, you want Jill to come? I was like,
Bologna, I said, do you
guess.
want a +1? And you said yes, and you brought Jill. And then Lexie texted me like 30 days before my wedding. It was like, hi, so if I find a date by your wedding, like, can I bring one? And I'm like,
I was like, I'm
You
gonna
got
RSVP for 2 people, but if I don't find one, is that okay? And she was like,
I was like, you have until July 10th to find a date. And if you don't, then don't bring one. And then like 48 hours later, her dumbass sister was like, hey, can I have a +1 to your wedding? And I was like, guys, I'm paying by the plate here. Like, fucking sure, I guess. And then like a whole business week later, they're like, yeah, we're not feeling them. I was like, okay, well, their plate was $20 and they drank a shitload, so
my roommate was your bartender.
I still paid for the
paid her.
alcohol. And I paid her bitch ass.
dude, in all honesty, I still dated Jill for like a month after that.
Oh, well, God,
And then-
that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
does
dude,
it?
and then she gave
They
me
were on the verge of marriage.
she gave me
as
a
far as I'm
fucking
concerned.
gift basket. Happy 3-month anniversage.
That's nice.
And then you broke up.
And it was literally
That's
that day. I was
that's
like,
That's
That
what
is a
ick
nice
came.
thing to do.
That's a no for me.
But did you catch the ick, or was that like a weird commitment issue you have?
No, that was like the
No.
ick. I wasn't feeling her before
It's a
that.
weird commitment issue.
I think it is too,
No.
but we'll unpack
Yeah.
that later.
No.
Yeah, it's fine.
I wasn't about her even at the wedding, dude. I told you this. You guys were like, you're acting weird around her, and I was like,
my event, and I had to pay for that.
I have commitment issues. I don't have a qualm about that. I don't say that I don't have a commitment issue.
Why does it
What do you
not
think
fall
that
in that
stems from? Were
category,
you
though?
not loved enough as a child, or?
No. I had
Therapy
a bad
sessions.
relationship, and that ruined a lot for me.
Oh well,
Yeah.
get the fuck over it.
My fucking god.
You sound like my father.
No, you know what I sound like is Grandma. You know what she told me the other day? Well, first of all, Allie walked through the door, and Grandma was like,
Here's the manifesto.
she was like, when'd you get your hair done? And Allie was like, Friday. And she was like, And Allie was like, do you not like it? And Grandma was like, And Allie was like, oh. And I was like, hey, buddy, it's everyone's
alright.
getting it right now. Don't worry. And then my mom asked me a question like about my next day. This was 2 days ago. Maybe even yesterday. I don't know. Yesterday. And she's like, what do you I know you got to leave, whatever. And I said, yeah, it all depends on what I get done, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, I had just come off like a 12-hour work day that I wasn't supposed to work, but I did anyways. And Grandma says, well, if you got off your ass and stopped watching movies all day, maybe your stuff would be done. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And my mom was like,
Burn!
no, it's just... Mom, she worked all day, and Allie's like in the corner crying about her hair. And I'm like, I think we gotta go now. And Grandma was like, Allie, come here. And Allie goes back there and she's like, hands Allie $100 bill. And Allie's like, I don't
Go
need this,
fix your
Grandma. And she
hair.
goes, go fix your hair.
How do I know my grandma so much?
Does anybody fucking remember when your dad told Grandma that I got my nose pierced? She hadn't noticed for like 6 hours, and then she walked up to me and she was like, that's trashy. And I was like,
Are you fucking dicking me, dude? Do you remember when I got my sleeve done
I was
and I
gonna
hid it
ask.
from
you remember
grandma?
when you
I
fucking
was gonna ask
hid
if this
for
I
is the
hid it
6
from my
hours?
grandma for 8 months, dude.
And then my mom was like, Dee, it's hot in here. Why don't you take your
I'm wearing a
flannel
fucking
off?
sweater, dude, in the middle of summer. I'm like, I'm not hot.
No, at
Dad's
Christmas,
just
he
dying
put
laughing,
Grandma's
bro.
fucking
White
like
leggings.
little tiny fucking robe on, and it's hitting him like here, and he's like,
And he's
yanking
trying
it
not to
down,
move his
and he's
fucking
trying not
arms,
to
and
move,
he's like-
and
No,
she's like,
8 months,
Dee, are
dude.
you okay?
Grandma
And he
didn't know
goes-
that shit.
He goes, I'm just kind of cold, and we were like, right.
Likely
It's a
story.
good thing you didn't have your neck tattooed.
Dude,
man.
and then literally on
You've been
Easter,
wearing a turtleneck.
Easter, I was literally like, fuck it, dude, and I like just wore a t-shirt. She didn't even notice.
No.
For like the next 2 months, dude. Until like one day randomly she like grabbed my arm. She's like, what is this? She's like, is this real? Is this permanent? I'm like, nah, Grandma's Sharpie. She like throws my arm. She's like, you're a disgrace. And she just like storms in the house and like slams the door. Didn't talk to me for like 3 months,
The
dude.
line that woman straddles of being the most supportive person in the
Oh,
world
dude.
and the person that hates you the fucking most, it's a talent at this point. Like, she was the first person I told I was pregnant in college. Super supportive and was like, I love you. Your decision is valid. Like, whatever you decide. And then like I walk in and she's like, damn, you're fat. And I'm like, yeah, not a secret. Thank you. And I'm like, I'm sorry, in the 50s that they prescribed diet pills and nicotine for
Oh my
women with
God.
hysteria.
Did I tell you ever about
Probably
when
my best
Stuart
life.
came over for biscuits and gravy one morning at Grandma's house?
It was after, what dance did we go to that I like tagged along with you guys? Prom, Winterfest, something like that.
But she like just kept poking Stuart in the stomach. She's like, "You want a couple more biscuits?" And Stuart's
And
like,
she kept
"I'm
making
okay."
stuff. She kept
And
making
she's like, "No,
stuff.
I know you do. You want some biscuits?" She's like poking him in the stomach.
She made all this bacon that we didn't ask for. Eventually, she had this big bowl of gravy. I mean, it was like a 5-gallon tank of gravy. So we started stashing shit in the gravy bowl.
Not we, me. Everybody was throwing me their bacon, dude, and I was literally stuck in handfuls of bacon in that gravy bowl, dude.
And
I was
then,
just
of
like
course,
shoving
Grandma
it.
goes to
And then
sit
there's
down.
about this much bacon on the bottom of that fucking gravy bowl. And Grandma like gets the big old ladle, dude, and she pulls out about 8 strips of bacon and just starts, doesn't even notice, dude.
and we're all like,
She just keeps eating her meal like that was part of the gravy mix, dude. And Stuart is fucking crying laughing, dude. He's like wheezing. He can't fucking breathe, dude. He's like red, just like in tears.
I'd have been like, I'll take some more of that gravy.
Bro,
This gravy slaps.
that shit was so funny.
Fuck.
Because you guys had both eaten what, like two
and 14,000 calories at least.
Stuart ate like 12 biscuits, bro.
That motherfucker
And she
could
was
eat.
just like, you need more. And she's like poking him in the
He's like
stomach.
literally like,
He's like, I'm not that fat. And she's like, right. You would like throw 2 more biscuits on his plate.
But that's
and
what
I was
she
just
does.
like, Grandma.
that's what she does. You walk in the door and she's like,
She has no filter, dude.
you are
Zero-
nasty looking.
zero
Do you
filter.
want a biscuit? And then you're like, no, I don't. And she's like, eat, that's not funny. And you're like, pick a lane, girl, pick a lane. Do you hate me or do you love me? I need to know. God love her, man. She came with me to a doctor's appointment 2 weeks ago. And she like travels with her oxygen tank now. But she doesn't travel with, I think this is where our anxiety stems from. She does not travel with 1 oxygen tank, not 2, but 3 oxygen tanks. Just
I don't know
big
what you
ones
talk about
or-
our anxiety. I have 0 anxiety.
I have hella
I'm like,
Raging
that sounds like a
anxiety.
great fucking idea.
Are
Let's
we talking
try.
about like the big oxygen
big-
tanks
no-
or like the small?
No. They are this tall.
The big ones?
They are
Okay.
this fucking tall.
She breathes a lot.
Grandma's crap, dude.
She
She
rides
just wants to
with me.
blow up at any time. She still
That's-
smokes cigarettes with.
with her
Fucking
oxygen
oxygen
fucking in her nose.
In her nose. And I know.
She's like, don't tell me how to live, boy.
She said,
And
I've
she'll
been
just-
doing this for 30 years. And I was like, you are playing Russian roulette
You've
with
been on
5 bullets in the
oxygen for
barrel.
about 6 months.
No
Quit
shit.
your shit.
Oh,
My dad
You're
about
like,
fucking.
I guarantee it's not 30 fucking years because
was like-
I'm only 22 and you've only had oxygen for fucking 15 of them, okay?
Dude, she's been smoking Pall Mall
Unfiltered cigarettes.
since I've been born.
Oh, long before that. But I took her to the doctor's office. She
She
sat
has
in the car.
about 3 teeth left.
She sat
she
in the
eats
car.
fucking celery like.
Dude, I tell you what, I love her to death. Grandma's would be the scariest fucking zombie on the planet, dude.
My
If she was fucking running at me
Fucking
with
Cold War
those
zombie.
3 teeth, dude, I would be like, holy shit.
You
I would
guys.
fucking punt her right down the stairs, dude.
So I guess
Love
No
her.
fucking qualms.
Love her
to
so
death.
fucking much.
Scary as fuck zombie, dude. Scary as fuck.
I guess I met her when I was like 1, like real little. My great grandma, my dad's grandma, she died like I think probably right after she met me.
That's a bummer.
But
What do you air quotations?
I
for
don't-
met me?
'cause I don't-
You met her. She's
I don't remember. I was 1. Apparently, I
She
was
met
called.
me.
So, anyways,
Supposedly she held me.
that wasn't the real me. Okay, I didn't know shit at the time. I was like, "Who the fuck is
He's
this?"
like, I'm different now.
Anyways, and she probably doesn't. Well, she. Okay, she was getting like dementia at the time, like bad,
Oh,
right?
buddy,
So
this
like
is
we
this
walk-
is a dark story.
we walk into the retirement home,
Oh God!
and or it was like a hospice, I guess. Like they're taking care of her, right? So my dad walks in, and he was like, "Hi, Grandma. Like, you remember me? It's your grandson, Craig." And she just like stared at him. She's like, "Huh? You turned into a big one." And then like,
All people are so mean, dude.
well, and
they
and
have
she
no
didn't.
filter, just like
Well,
children.
No. Like
Yeah.
her dementia and shit was like so bad. Like she didn't realize what she was saying. Like he was saying, like growing
Like
up, like
this
she
way.
was like the nicest, sweetest lady like ever. But when she got that, she like turned like complete 180. Like was not like she got like super racist
Mm.
and
Mhm.
because she didn't know what she was
Not-
saying. Like there was like
Not unfamiliar to that one.
no like
We're not even gonna talk about.
I was gonna
Like-
bring up the
Nope.
Thanksgiving dinner, dude.
No, like she got like
No, we
she
will
went from
not.
like being like the sweetest lady to like when we were there, I was crawling around on the floor and they were like, "Marcus, get up! Like the floor's dirty." Like they went and picked me up and she's like, "Nah, let him crawl. These so and so's don't do a good job of cleaning this place anyways." And then like, and her husband had died like years before that, and she said something like, "Oh yeah, he's out back beating the help" or something like that. And they're like, "Oh, what?"
Okay.
And so like they were like, "We're so like we're talking." They're talking to the They were talking to like the ladies there. They're like,
Thanksgiving was great.
That's fine.
No,
we'll
wait.
remember it in our nuclear family.
No, I have to tell it.
they were
Not if
like,
this goes
"She's
on the
not like
internet."
this," and they're like, "It's
No.
okay. We
We
deal
will
with this a lot. Like she does not know what she's saying. Like we know what she's going through. Like we've seen the
That
like."
one.
The
No.
decline of her mental capacity, basically. Like, it's fine.
Still runs a business, kind
No, she doesn't own any of it. So, Allie,
but no.
this is another fucking Allieism.
Oh, no.
We're driving to Texas, and she's like fucking, I don't know, 16 at this point.
She is too old.
She's too old to ask this question.
That's the thing is our grandma was never sweet. She hasn't been sweet since I was born.
You're
dude.
so full of it. Grandma is sweet.
She's
sweet.
kind-hearted, but she says it how it is.
Oh
dude.
yeah, no. She's not gonna sugarcoat it.
Yeah, she's always been fucking to the point. Like,
Well, like
I'm
if
gonna
you're
fucking
like,
grind your gears.
if you're crying in front of her, she goes, "Quit emoting," and you're like,
What?
"Quit being a person, like having emotions," and she's like,
No,
"No
dude.
time,
No.
no time."
I love gay people, like, all the time.
No.
But when she saw Zach for the first time, remember when Zach had his Jufro?
Oh
His
god,
curly hair and
it
shit.
just gets
Yeah.
worse.
he like came over for breakfast one morning and she's like, "Why don't you cut your hair, you curly-headed fag?" And Zach was just like, "Oh!" He started like dying laughing and she's like, "I'm not joking, dude," and just like turned and walked away.
Oh my
She has no
God.
filter. Zero.
Allie one time, she looks at Dad and she goes, "Hey Dad, when you were growing up, did you have a maid or did you have a slave?" And I was like, "God damn it, Allie, he grew up in 1965, not fucking 1865. What the fuck?
Yeah, back on the plantation.
Like, what the hell are you fucking talking about?" And she was like, "I didn't know." And I was like, "I'm 14 fucking years old.
Allie
You
doesn't
should
fire on all
know."
cylinders.
What the fuck?
Who really digs the wells around here?
Really? Oh my god.
It was
So,
That's
and
awesome.
while we were in fucking South Carolina
It's
this
sad
past
that the
summer,
public school system
Yuki and I
failed
were
her
there,
that
and
bad.
this is the first time that we've had
How
like
old was she?
a
She
minority.
was 16 years old when
I
she
mean,
asked that
between
question.
14 and 16, yeah.
Far too old.
We're all racist around that age.
I mean, I guess fair enough, but I don't think it was like a racist thing. It was just like a genuine question, and I was like,
Something
what
competent.
time period do you think Dad was fucking born in? Like, how old do you think he is? Like,
I
Dude,
don't
back
think
to
not
South
even
Carolina,
60.
though. Grandma was like a carry-on bag. We
Sir?
literally had to drag her around everywhere.
You say that like
She's
you...
going in the overhead.
I had to fucking like carry her. I was like, "Grandma, we're leaving," and she's just in a fucking daze, dude. All South Carolina.
Say that as if you drove from Colorado to South Carolina with her.
Nope.
Somehow that woman's got a sixth sense and was always lighting a cigarette right next to the huge ass propane tank at every fucking gas station. And I was like, "Ma'am, 20 steps to the right, my guy, please."
She
South
puts her
Carolina.
oxygen on. I'll be back.
No,
South
literally.
Carolina was litty titty, dude.
So this was the first
Yeah, you
vacation
brought a
that
little
we've
piece of it
had
here, baby.
any kind of minority.
Hanging on the chandelier, dude.
Memories.
This was the first vacation that we've had any kind of like minority with us, being that I came out as gay like 6 months prior to, and we've never had a filter about anything.
No.
And we're walking down the street, and half of us are on one side of the street, and the other
Why you
half
gotta
are
put
on
me
the other
on blast
side.
like
And
this?
Dylan looks across the street. Yuki and I are sitting, I'm not joking, right next to him. And he goes, "What are you fags doing?" And then goes, "Who?"
Just screamed it
And
across the
it's
street
because
at
they
like
were
Nash and my
standing,
dad, dude.
Like, in
And I
front
was like,
of...
I didn't mean it. I kind of meant it, but not towards you guys.
And it's because they were standing in front of a rainbow flag, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't mean that." And we were like, All right.
That'll happen.
Yuki was a little upset with me on that one.
Rightfully
And
so.
I laughed
Working up
because
kinks.
that's how I've always been, and my mom laughed, and then we were like, I was like, I'm gay, like, I can't laugh at that shit, like, that's rude, like, that's rude to me, like, what the
Only-
fuck?
Some serious sensitivity.
We need a group therapy session for our whole family.
Oh,
They would
yes.
give up. The therapist would quit their job, not only their job, their career. They'd put their license
He'd
in a
be like, I
paper
can't
shredder.
fix this, dude.
You're like, this is one that we're not working out.
Dude, I did, South Carolina, I did love fucking every morning coming out. Without a fucking doubt, every morning I came out for morning. I would bring 2 cups of coffee, and Grandma's out on the porch smoking
Smoking?
cigarettes at like
Mm.
5 in the morning.
Without
And I would bring her
fail.
coffee. Me and her would just sit there in silence and just stare.
Stare into the
And
abyss.
she'd be like, "Are you doing good?"
For fucking 8 days in a row.
I'm like, "I'm good, Grandma. Same as yesterday.
Let me take a drag.
Just chilling." "Oh yeah." She's like, "You want to smoke?" "Sure."
Sure do.
I would just sit on the fucking balcony with her every morning, dude.
I still love the family pictures.
Oh, bro. I fucked our family portraits
Oh
up,
my
dude.
fucking god, we told everybody to wear jeans and a white
You had this
t-shirt.
plan for 2
Me
weeks
and
before.
Dylan came out
brought
with his fucking
fucking
scrotum
booty
out.
shorts and like the smallest fucking like cut off jeans I've
Daisy
ever
Duke
seen in my
fucking-
whole fucking
Dude,
Instead of
life.
fucking
He was
And
saying
a
this for like 2
Hawaiian
weeks
shirt.
I was
before.
telling
Like-
them this, dude. It's not like I was hiding it. I was like, "Aunt Patty, I'm not bringing a white t-shirt and jeans." I was like, "All I'm packing is Hawaiian shirts and Daisy Dukes." And she's like, "Ha ha ha, okay." And I was
And then
like,
we were
"I'm
like,
not
"It's time
fucking
to take
joking,
family
Aunt Patty."
photos. And he was like, "No, I'm not joking. I didn't bring fucking jeans." And we were like,
All I had
anybody
was
else bring a Hawaiian shirt? And
From
almost
Boyd,
everybody did.
Hawaiian shirts, dude.
Well, and then
Like-
AJ was so mad. He was like, "Why do they get to wear what they want?" And I was like, "Hold on.
I caused a fucking
I was like,
disaster,
this
dude, for
isn't
Family
a
Pick Day.
democracy. This is a monarchy. And I am the matriarch, and you will wear this white shirt." And then my mom was like, "Oh, she loves him so much more than she loves me." And she was like, "We'll make it a cutoff for you." And was cutting the sleeves off this nice white shirt that I bought. And I was like, I just want one normal human experience.
I passed out like 4 Hawaiian shirts. My dad, I gave one. I gave Nash one. I gave Yuki one. I
Yeah.
was like, "Just take my Hawaiian shirts." Just fucking totally turned our family portraits into fucking tie-dye, dude.
Granted,
We all
I had fucking the most atrocious hair I've ever fucking had in family photos.
That was when it was super short, right?
Yeah, it was like here.
Bowl cut.
And I was like, this is not good. My mom was like, "You look cute." And I was like, half of it's brown and half of it's fucking blonde. Like, this is not good. Like,
And
I don't know
was
what you're
like,
talking
"You
about.
look fine, Lexie." And I was like, "Where?"
I look back at those photos and I'm like,
Dude, we had some good times in South Carolina. What about when Nash fucking graffitied the bar right next to our fucking condo that we just
Statute of
rented?
limitations out on that. Can we talk about
He
it?
fucking graffitied it and pissed on their cars, dude. And he was literally throwing beer bottles on the side of the bar.
Oh,
Do you see why I
He's not 21, is he?
No.
no.
I'm saying.
And that's why he was mad.
That's why he got
Because-
kicked out. He got kicked out because he wasn't 21
He
and he
stormed
couldn't
into
show
the bar
ID.
with us and thought he could drink with us, dude. And they were like, "No, get out of here." And he came back at 3 a.m, graffitied all their cars, the building, and pissed on their cars and threw beer bottles against it. The cops are chasing him, dude. He's jumping fences, jumps in the backyard of our condo and fucking dives in the pool, dude. And he's just fucking like floating in the pool, like fully clothed. And he's like, "Oh, they're never gonna know, dude." And I was like, "We literally walk across the street every day. The bar, I can see it from my bedroom." I was like, "It's right there, Nash. How the fuck are they not gonna know, dude?" And then we came the next day, bro.
Conspicuous is inconspicuous.
They're like,
Yeah, we
"Wait."
had to show up the next day and be like, "We are so sorry."
They're like, "Where's
for
the little
what
one,
happened."
dude?" And they're just
They
like,
were like, "We just have to make sure that your cousin's not coming." And we were like, no, like, we promise he's not. And they were like, really? Because he fucking pissed on our cars last night. And we were like...
He was standing on top of their cars, just pissing on the hoods. And then we had the other night when I fucking brought all those chicks over. And then,
we went to the fucking bar and made friends with these gay girls. And one of them was like
I
trying
stole
to hit
her
on,
shirt.
I'm not fucking kidding, everybody at the bar. She was hitting on everyone, and I was like, oh, she's just trying to be friends. And we, like, fucking took her back to the place, and I, like, gave her Yuki's favorite pair of boxers to wear as fucking swim trunks, and, like, tank top. And
this
then
is like 4 in the morning, mind you, dude. And then I've never seen Uncle Bo pissed off, dude. He comes storming down in his fucking tidy whities, dude. His hair is everywhere. He looks like Doc Brown, dude. He's like, what the fuck is going on down here? He's just standing in the middle of the doorway. And I'm fucking dying laughing, dude. I'm like, not even trying to hide it. I'm like, holy shit, look at you, Uncle Bo.
And I'm like,
Lexi's scared to fucking death, dude. And I'm like rolling around. And I was like, they'll leave when they want to go. It's fine.
and he's like, I'm not fucking kidding. Get these fucking people out of here. And I'm like, okay, yes, sir. Sorry. Like, sorry. And he fucking, so I'm like, all right, everybody, like, he's like, I'm not fucking kidding. And I'm like, okay.
Then
So
she
he
walks
goes
out,
back
she's like, you
upstairs.
guys gotta go.
And Dylan's like, no, it's fine. And I'm like, no, I'm not fucking kidding. You guys have to leave now. Like, we can go hang out anywhere else but our backyard. Find somewhere else.
That's one of those fucking memory banks, like, that's gonna be in my fucking memory as long as I live. Uncle Bo storming down in his fucking tidy whities. Hair is literally like an afro, dude, and he's just like, what the fuck is going on? He's like, it's 4 in the morning. All of you get the fuck out. He's just standing there like so serious, dude. And I'm like crying laughing. And I'm like,
and then Dylan fucking jokes about it for the next 3 days. And I'm like, stop fucking talking about it. Like, it wasn't funny. It was scary.
I was like, Uncle Bo, how mad were you last night, dude? It's like, you gotta be pretty mad to come down in your underwear. He's like, fuck off, Dylan. He's just so mad.
And he, I'm not kidding, joked about it for 3 days. And I was like, Dylan, shut the fuck up.
Dude, it was so
he didn't
funny.
burn your fucking phone in the yard. You're not scared of him. Like, shut up. I'm scared. He scares me.
Have you heard?
Mind you, this is the first time in South Carolina. That was the first time Uncle Bo drank in what, 5 years?
5 years?
Yeah.
And the man crushed
been,
4 Coors Lights before we got to the 3rd floor of the house. I was
He's
like,
been like
homie.
mad sober for like 5 years. And I was
Did
like,
he have like some health issue? Cause like that's
Gout.
the reason. Yeah.
He had bad
yeah,
gout.
he took
No,
medication
I
for
mean-
gout and he couldn't drink.
Yeah.
That's
But,
what
like,
it is.
also at the same time, he was just like, you
Yeah,
know,
he's-
I'll just
he-
stop drinking.
It wasn't like
And
an
it wasn't a
issue.
problem, dude.
No,
Like, he
was
stopped
fine.
cold turkey.
It
And
was,
he
like,
he
totally
didn't
fine.
drink for 5 years. And then we got to South Carolina. As soon as we landed, I was like, we're getting fucked up, Uncle Bo. And he's just like, okay. He's like, I haven't drank in 5 years. Let's go.
Yeah, he literally looked at us and we were like, we're taking AJ a beer. He goes, give me one of those. We were like,
Sir?
what?
And
That-
then he crushed 4 before
the
we even got to
first-
the fucking top
Or
floor.
the fucking highlight of that first night was when Uncle Bo was like hanging over the table, and he's like, I didn't just fall off the wagon. I got fucking ran over. And he just like fell over in his chair and like fell over backwards. Holy
I didn't
shit.
go out the first night. I didn't really go out that trip. I was
Oh,
like
dude.
having a kid
Yeah,
days.
you were fucking on mom duty the whole time.
Always,
That
man.
whole fucking pissing on the car story remind me when I hung out in Pueblo all the time. We went to this. We'd go over to one of my buddy's friend's house a few times and like party there. And there's this like one chick. And she was big and fucking ugly. And
Just my type.
yeah, I don't know. This one is.
I don't know.
You might even have some standards fucking drunk as shit with this one. Like, she was telling everyone about this new car that she got, and it was like some fucking like 01 Toyota that was out
Close enough.
in the car, or
Oh, no.
that was out parked out front. And she's like telling everyone she's just pissed drunk, like, oh, my new car, like, look at these pictures. And I'm like, it's right out the window, I can see it. She's like showing everyone pictures of it, and they're like, yeah, we walked by it when we got here. And so fucking my buddy is like, fuck her car, I need to go take a piss. And like I see him like walk around to the side of her car, because like we popped the screen out of the window that we're all hanging out at the room, and like that's where the car was. And I hear like my buddy and this other kid out there just like laughing their ass off. And he's like at the door, like you could see he was pissing. And I'm like, are you pissing on her car? He's like, I'm pissing all over her handle. And so she's like, I need to show everyone my car. And she goes out there, like runs out there and like opens up the door. And she's like, why is the handle all wet? And like smells her hand and shit. She's like, someone pissed on my door handle. I was like out there like sobbing, crying. And my buddy's like on the front porch, like just wheezing, laughing. And she's like, did you piss on my car? And he was like, yeah. And she just like fucking is hysterical, just like fucking losing her shit, crying. And he's like, fuck, I'm sorry. Like goes over there like trying to console her and stuff. And she's just like losing it. She's like, I just got this car 2 days ago and you piss on the door. And he's like still like laughing, like, I'm sorry. Fucking like losing it.
Oh,
Dude, I'm notorious for getting drunk and pissing like wherever I want.
I know. Middle of the street.
Were you there when I pissed in the middle of turnaround?
buddy, I drag your body from...
No, it was Garrett and fucking Fabian.
Into whose car?
Oh, they drug you.
My car.
That was when my pants were on my ankles, dude, and I was just standing in the middle of fucking turnaround, just cackling, pissing, fell over backwards, and I was just pissing straight up all over myself, dude. Just like laughing. Fabian and Garrett run over and they like get under my arms. They're like, "We gotta go, dude," and I'm still just like pissing straight this way, just like dying laughing. And then they threw me in Emily's car and she took me home.
I didn't take you home. I took you to my home, and then I gave you a pep talk from the bottom to my home and said, buddy, I need you to act sober because I know my mom's gonna be up. And you're like, I got it. Like, your eyes weren't even opening. You're like, shut up, I understand the assignment. And I was like, okay. And so then we get out and I was like, this is not gonna go well. And he like hightails it to the downstairs bathroom.
This was the same night?
Yes. Hightails it down to the, yes, it was, to the downstairs bathroom. And my mom came out and was like, oh, hi, like, where's Dylan? And I was like, in the bathroom. And she was like, oh, okay. Is like everything okay? And I was like, totally fine. Everything is totally fine. And she was like, okay, well, like, I made cookies. And I was like, cool. And then, like, right about then, we hear this big, like, crash in the bathroom. And she just looks at me and I was like, huh, weird. That's weird. I didn't hear anything. And she busts in and Dylan has ripped the towel hanger out of the wall, fallen on, like, to the floor of the bathroom. And who gets yelled at? Who gets yelled at? Who's sober? And who is responsible? And who gets yelled at?
Bro,
Me.
This wasn't like the first time.
It wasn't.
This was like the 9th time I've done this shit at Endgames.
And she was like, Emily Elizabeth. And I was like,
I can't do this anymore, Dylan.
I was
She's like, you can't just come to my house drunk as piss. And I'm like sitting there. I'm like crying because I'm so drunk. I'm like, I'm sorry.
And he's like, I just want this to be over.
It's not gonna happen again.
And then she laughs and gets him a trash bucket and then proceeds to yell at me in the living room. And I'm like, homie, I wasn't even with him all night. Like, I had my own plan. I just scraped him off the fucking asphalt and put him in my car.
Dude, I don't know how you fucking, like, you came out of nowhere, dude. I was literally just, like, pissing in downtown, like, just having a ball.
Because I was always there to scrape you out of whatever shitty situation you had gotten yourself into.
Not always, but a lot of the time.
How much time do we got?
We're pretty close. Why?
Do we have enough time? Since Lexie's here, the titty bar tale for her birthday.
That's a good one, too.
Because that ended in some...
I was going to tell about a different tale with Dylan.
I kind of want it. Should we talk about that one? Do we have time?
What tale are you talking about?
Dylan, my nose!
We don't have time for that. So let's talk about the titty bar tale.
Okay.
It was your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
We had like it was almost like a multi-birthday bash because like mine was a few days before that. Then there's yours, and wasn't Finch's right before that too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad, dude. I mean, we all dressed up to the nines. You wore the fedora like you always do, fucking weirdo.
Fuck off. I look good.
We started pre-gaming hard at the house. And Lexie's taking fucking shots before we even leave the club. Or leave for the club.
Mm-hmm.
And I like look over to Marcus and Jimmy. I'm like, or not Jimmy, Marcus and Finch. And I'm like, she's not going to make it to midnight, dude.
No.
She comes. We go to the titty bar. This is Lexie's first time at the titty bar. She's having a ball, dude. She's getting buck wild.
We bought a bottle there for all her friends.
We got bottle service because Sammy bought a bottle for everybody. And Lexie's like hysterically laughing. She's like so happy. All the strippers that come over, she's like, "You are so pretty. What's your name?" And they would sit there and just talk to Lexie. They were having so much fun with her. And then Lexie, what time was it? 11:20 maybe?
11, yeah.
Yeah. 11:20, dude. We finished that bottle. I didn't drink any of that bottle.
Up until that point.
No, that was the second bottle, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't drink any of that bottle. I was like, yo, I'm driving everybody home.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the DD.
Yeah. And
It's about to say bye to Kitty.
it's like 11:20, and Yuki comes up and grabs my shoulder, and she's like, Lexie's fucked up. She's got to go. And I look over, and Lexie's like, just fucking like
Passed out in the chair.
it's time to go night-night. She's like rolling around. I like look at her, and then I look at Yuki. I'm like, she's fine. What are you talking about? She's just like, Dylan, no. Like, she's got to go. I was like, you guys just ordered another fucking bottle.
Yeah, another $250 bottle.
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
Of what,
She's
Don?
got to drink some of this. And I'm like, beside myself. I'm like, so you're going to leave us? And
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they leave, and it's...
Her and her friends left.
Me, Marcus,
Finch.
fucking Finch, and Dylan.
Yeah, Big Dylan.
Because Big Dylan was just... That was his first time at the strip club.
That's when he blew like, what, $600?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys know Andrew Lenny?
Yeah.
In Vegas,
Yeah,
he blew like
I remember that.
$1,800 at the strip club.
That's
First
because they let me fucking pass out drunk, and they didn't take me with them.
Oh, yeah, no.
And I was like, this is all your fault, motherfuckers. I was like, I told you strip club etiquette. You guys left me. I don't feel bad for any of you.
Oh, no.
Everybody, they blew like $5,000.
Oh,
all
a
of
ton
them,
of money.
at the strip club. But,
anyways.
yeah,
So,
so
yeah, it's the four of us left.
Dylan's just having a fucking ball. Any girl that comes up, they're like, you want to dance, big boy? He's like, yup.
Yeah.
Fucking gets up and just like goes with him.
We're like, no.
Non-stop. And I'm like grabbing Dylan by the shoulder. I'm like, dude, you gotta get some form of control. I was like, you're out of control.
He has no
Just like,
control there.
Nope. He's just like smiling, just having
Ear
a
to
ball.
ear.
Yeah. And he'd come back after like 3 songs. He'd be like, she gave me a mad deal, dude. 3 songs for $250. I'm like, Dylan!
That's not a
How
deal.
is that a fucking deal?
That's not a deal.
I was like, 3 songs for $250? It's $50 a song. And he's just like, doesn't matter.
Yeah, he didn't give a fuck.
Smile. He's like, I had fun. But anyways, side note, Lexie gets taken. Who brought you home?
Sammy and Zach.
Sammy and Zach brought Lexie home.
I was fucking stumbling around the club. I was like, I gotta go home now.
That's what I was saying earlier when Yuki comes and like grabs my shoulder. She's like, Yuki's gotta go, and you're just fucking like,
I was like,
I gotta go night. You're just like screaming, and you're not even looking at anybody. You're just screaming at the ceiling. You're like, I gotta go night. It's time to go. And I'm like looking at Yuki. I'm like, she's fine. What are you talking about? She looks good.
It's fucking 11:30. We hadn't even made it to midnight. We got there at like 10 p.m.
So Sammy takes them home, and You guys swore to fucking Christ you brought the keys.
No, I left the house without keys because Dylan had keys, and I swore that I was gonna stay at the strip club until Dylan came home with the keys. So we locked the doors and we left. So I didn't have keys, Yuki didn't have keys, and I was like, so we get home at 11:35 because I can't fucking make it past midnight, and I'm like, we don't have a way to get in the house. And she's like, what? And I'm like, Dylan has the only keys to get in the house. And she's like, are any of the cars unlocked? And I'm like, guaranteed no.
And that's what I was telling, because like Finch was like saying like you guys didn't have keys, you can get into like what happens. But I'm like, someone could have messaged me, like I could have given them the code to my car because I was a little punch. I'm like, I have a garage clicker in my car.
That doesn't click with drunk Lexie, dude.
No, I didn't
Lexie,
even fucking know that.
Let's break into the house.
You at least have Yuki,
like,
but anyways.
I'm like, fuck, man, like none of the cars are unlocked. The house isn't unlocked. Like the back door is locked for sure because we lock that every time we fucking let anybody in or out.
Right.
So we're like, oh, shit.
Shocking.
And so I'm like, oh, shit. The back window is open. We gotta go in through the back window. Yuki's like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, we can just, like, pop the screen out. Like, it's no biggie.
I have a feeling the conversation didn't go like that. It's just like, you just take the screen and you just punch. You just go, and it just pops right out.
No.
I've done it a million times.
I gotta go
Anyway.
night
So
now.
I'm walking
Anyways.
to the backyard in my stiletto fucking heels, and I eat shit on the flagstone on the side of our yard. So I already cut my fucking foot because I ate shit on the flagstone. And then we get to the backyard, and obviously the window has a fucking rip in it, like this big. And I'm like, oh.
Keep talking.
Honestly, that was an even worse angle, if you could imagine.
So the window has a rip in it, like this big. And I'm like, it's okay, like I have a skinny wrist, like I can stick my arm in and pop the fucking screen out. No problem at all.
No problemo.
So Zach, who is in the military, grabs a like fucking flimsy ass chair, like lawn chair, and I'm standing on it to try to like stick my arm like all the way up in there to like grab the top tab, and next thing I know the whole screen rips up and I'm like, oh, and Yuki comes around and I'm like, well, you know what? And I'm just fucking like through the screen, and she's like, what the fuck? And then next thing she knows, the fucking chair breaks and I'm like, oh. So I ate shit twice in our own fucking yard. And she's like, well, no point in getting the screen out now. Better just go through it. And I'm like, I ain't going in there too. And she's like, don't fucking let her go in there. I'm opening the door. And so she like closes the window right behind her. And she comes and opens the door. And I guess I like wandered upstairs and like immediately stripped all my clothes off. And I'm like laying on the top of the bed sheets, just naked as shit, like just like buck ass naked.
That was me my birthday, except for I had my dress shoes on, dude. I was buck ass naked in my shoes.
Zach walks in first, and he's like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And Yuki goes, "Are Sammy and Lexie not the same fucking person when they get drunk?" And he goes, I mean, I guess that's fair. And she was like, I don't really give a fuck. I need to clean her ankle because she scraped the shit out of it when she fell through that chair. He's like, okay. And she's like, can you grab some fucking clothes out of that drawer? I'm gonna clean her ankle. So I'm laying there just naked as shit, like, and she's cleaning my fucking ankle. And like, Zach's like grabbing clothes for me. And Sammy's almost as drunk as me. And she's like, woo!
Now,
oh my
teleport
god.
over to the club.
Yeah, back to the strip club, dude.
Fuck it. So
that bottle arrives.
The bottle arrives. There's just the 4 of us, and
At the time, it was just the 3 of us because Dylan was getting a private dance.
I mean, it basically was just the 3 of us because he was in the back the rest of the time. Basically.
Yeah, he pretty much had like 1 or 2 drinks out of that bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Well, I was supposed to fucking DD boys, but it looks like we're all getting fucked up because I'm not leaving a $250 bottle just sitting there." So I end up having like 5 drinks. I'm fucking thrashed.
Me and
dude.
Finch are sitting there, like, in between your drinks, like, we're making our own little drinks there with the pineapple juice, just passing it back and forth. I was like, I'm fine. And always at the club, it's like, I'm fine, until we walk out the door, and I'm like, I am not fine.
Yeah, dude.
This is not okay.
That was me. And then I had to drive our ass home.
Every time at that club, that's what happens.
Yeah,
But-
so we start leaving, and we go to, I was like, let's go get some Taco Star, boys, because that's our drunken...
It was a great idea.
Yeah, always. And the boys just get nuts. They're like, yeah, let's get Taco Star. Dylan drove home. He drove to our house.
Did he?
Yep.
I don't even remember if he drove home or not.
It was me, you, and Finch.
Yeah, in the
And
car.
we got Taco Star. And we get Taco Star, we all get carne asada fries. And we're driving home.
As soon as we left the club, like I said, I was like, I'm not okay. And while we're in the Taco Star drive-thru, I'm like in the passenger seat, like, should I get out and throw up in the bushes right now?
Or should I hold on?
Or should I wait? And I'm like, it's fine, I can wait. And as soon as we start leaving, I'm like,
He should have puked there.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's not waiting. So we pull off back onto the road, and I was like, Dylan, at the
Finch
next...
is just mauling his carne asada fries in the back seat, just giddy as fuck, just so happy.
I was like, Dylan...
Marcus is like leaning against the window, and he's like, I'm gonna puke.
I was like, at the next light, take a right. And
I
he's
was like, what?
I was like, at the next light, take a right. And you're like, what do you mean? I'm like, fucking take a right. And you're like, don't throw up in my car. I'm like, hurry up and turn.
Dylan had literally had
this
his car for
2
3 days.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
if you throw up in my fucking car, dude, and I'm like swerving off, he rolls down the
I started
window.
rolling down the window.
He just starts puking, bro. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. I'm so fucking, I'm pissed drunk. I'm like, you fucking asshole.
I'm
I've had this car for 2 days, Marcus. I'm just ripping his ass.
I'm like pretty sure he opened up the door and like booted me out. We're still in the street. Like, it
Like,
just
it's
turned.
fine. He's just like puking out the side of my car. I'm like, it's not fine. You're fucking puking on my car. And I like fucking kick him out, dude. And we're in this fucking lady's front yard.
It's like a duplex. I'm
Yeah.
in the front yard, leaned up against a telephone pole, just calling dinosaurs. I am just yakking.
in the middle of her yard, bro.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, fuck this guy, dude. I gotta piss. So I like put that shit in park, throw my hazards on. I'm standing in the middle of the street, dude, just
Oh,
pissing.
my God.
pants at my ankles, ass out like I always do, just drunk as shit. Hey.
Yeah, the lady comes out and she's like, he's puking in my yard.
She's like, can he not puke in my yard? I'm like, shut up, bitch. We're leaving in 2 minutes. Just let him finish. And I'm like pissing in the middle of the street. She's like, I'm not joking. Like, I'm gonna call the cops. And I'm like, call the fucking cops, bitch.
Oh my God!
I'll be there in
by the time
2
I get
minutes.
I was leaned up against a pole, like, fuck your yard. Fucking...
I'm just pissing in the middle of the street. Finch is just still mauling carne asada fries in the back seat, like just enjoying the show. He's just laughing.
I said that he ran out for a second, like rubbed my back. He's like, "You okay, buddy?" and ran back in the car.
I'm like, just let him finish, bitch. And I'm like, pants at my ankles, just pissing, dude. And I fucking drive us home. We leave. I maul my carne asada fries.
All I remember was getting home and I just fell face down on the couch. And then I woke up in the downstairs bathroom. And I have no idea how I got there. And then in the morning I woke up in my bed. So all I know is that I time traveled.
I drug you up to your bed after I ate your carne asada fries. You ate half, like not even half.
No,
you
I
ate
took
like a third of your carne asada
No, not
fries.
even. I took like 2 bites and my throat was so sore from throwing up that it stung. So I couldn't eat anymore. I was like, fuck that.
I ate my whole order of carne asada fries and I was like, fuck this guy.
Someone was in the fridge the next morning because I tried eating that because I had to go drive down to my parents the next morning, and I like took a bite, swallowed, and it like my throat hurt so bad. I'm like, I ain't eating shit for like a day now, so I just drove 3 hours down there.
Oh my God.
I woke up the next morning, still fucking drunk, actually. And I'm like, ugh. And Yuki's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. And then they were like, we got carne asada fries last night. And I'm like, oh, that sounds so good. Like, let's go get some. But I can't drive. You have to drive. And she's like, okay. I'm also hungover. And I'm like, I'm still fucking drunk. So you gotta drive. So she drives us over there. I had already thrown up when I woke up. We get back. I ate like, I don't know, 7 fries. And then I like lay down and I'm like, oh shit, like my stomach hurts. I throw up again. And I'm like, oh, alright, well, I guess I need to take a nap, maybe?
Oh
like food isn't working, so I guess I need to take a nap. And I take a nap and then I wake up and I'm like, okay, I don't know what I need. Like Gatorade maybe? So I go and I drink like half a Gatorade. And I immediately throw out the Gatorade and I'm like, oh my God. And we had to go to Yuki's parents at like 4 o'clock. And I had thrown up so aggressively
I had to go to fucking work, dude.
On Sunday?
No, this was Saturday. We went out on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I had to work that Saturday.
Yeah.
I get up, I sit up, and I'm like, holy fuck. And I have to go to work, dude. And I'm just like, okay.
No, I had quite literally thrown up so hard Saturday morning that I burst the capillaries in my fucking eyelids. And so I looked like I had 2 black eyes when I went to her parents' house. And I was like, how am I going to explain this? Like, somebody's beating the shit out of me. Like, they don't know that I drank. Like, what am I going to say? And I'm like, oh my God. So I, like, put some makeup on and, like, dampen the bruising.
Bro, this
Mind
is why
you,
I cannot hang out with you guys.
I get up.
So the next morning.
I'm like, I, like, can barely fucking sit up in my bed. And I'm like, I gotta go to work. And I fucking stumble out, make a cup of coffee, and then I open the door to the house, and I walk outside, and there's just fucking puke all down the side of my car. And there's handprints, dude. From Marcus, like, smearing the puke. Like, he puked on the side of my car, and he thought he could wipe it off.
Yeah, so like, it was dark. Like, it didn't look like there was that much. So when I got back to the car, I'm like, I'll wipe it off. I'm like,
all down the side of my fucking car, dude. And I'm like, this motherfucker. I'm so fucking mad. I'm like Ice Cube mad, dude. I'm like fucking raging. I just
like the idea of that seriously makes.
I send him a picture of it, dude, and I'm like,
no,
are you gonna buy my lunch or are you gonna fucking pay for a car wash? Motherfucker.
You sent me the text. You're like, you want to buy me lunch or pay for the car wash? I'm like, I'll Venmo you. I was like, I'm out of town. I'll Venmo you.
I was so fucking mad at
Oh,
dude, I'm like standing in the driveway. I'm like, this motherfucker! I'm like, my car is 3 days old! And I'm like fucking like stomping around in the front yard. I'm like, this motherfucker fucking pooped on my car! I'm so fucking mad, dude. The neighbors are probably just getting a fucking show, dude. I'm like storming around in the fucking front yard. I was so fucking mad at him. So that's how that fucking titty bar tale went.
God, that makes.
I have to tell a story about you.
No, we're
Yes.
out of time, dude.
No,
Next time.
I have to tell it.
We're at time.
I'm never coming back, so I have to tell it.
Yes,
You live with us.
I'm never coming back in for another fucking podcast.
That's not how that works.
A couple episodes away, you'll be back. Round
You're
2.
right across the hall, my guy.
No, I
Yeah.
refuse.
No,
This
on
is
that
the
note,
one and only.
we gotta close out. It's fucking time.
It's time.
It won't upload if we go longer than this.
Sorry,
Alright,
buddy.
whatever.
Hope you find it
Oh,
fun.
it's such a big ordeal.
You've sat in here
What
for
if-
like 3 of our episodes just watching us cast.
Yeah, because you fucking podcast that way.
You'll be back.
On that note, It's been a wonderful podcast.
Oh,
This
As
is my
is.
cousin,
it really
Emily,
has.
Lexie. It's your boy Mojave, Dewby. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment, let us know what you want to hear about.
Fucking send us a message.
Yeah.
Fucking no, none of y'all message me on Instagram, so fuck y'all. All your moms are hoes.
It's got aggressive.
You heard it here first. That was a good one. So please like and subscribe. This has been another Sinchies podcast. Don't forget, Sinchies getting a beer. Give me one.
2 drinks in the water.
Have a good night, y'all.
Needs to include water.